What is going on, guys? It is your boy TKD123 here, back again here on PlayStation Source. This is, of course, Let's Watch The Last of Us HBO for the final time for Season 1, Episode 9, where we go week by week with our thoughts and review of The Last of Us HBO on an episode-by-episode basis, ending with this episode here with a full conversation part. We're going to break up this episode, shall we? A part 1, part 2, perhaps. You know what I'm saying? Where part 2 is going to be looking at the overall season, as a whole. But we're going to go deep into this episode, of course, as we have done beforehand. It would be, of course, Mario Rivera. Oh, I forgot the point in the progress. The point of the progress. The point of the progress is Mario Rivera. How you doing, good sir?
Swear to me. Swear to me.
Okay.
Swear to me, Kevin.
Okay.
Don't lie to me.
I like that people enjoyed that screenshot of our little conversation. I like that. I like that. But
that was great.
yeah, man, long time coming. Look at this.
This is it. Yeah, we made it. It was 9 weeks, right? We did a 0 issue 2, so 10.
10, yeah.
What?
10
10?
weeks. 10 weeks.
Yeah.
10 weeks.
It's been a trip, man. It was
9.
exciting.
Yeah, 9 numbered episodes. We did the episode 0.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. For the ride, man. Look at that, man. Look at that. Next Tuesday night, hey, it's all yours, man. You can do whatever you want. Just listen next Tuesday.
I'm gonna be sad that I can't talk about Last of Us
I
anymore,
know
so
it's gonna be really sad to come home Sunday night after work and be like, damn, like I guess I'll watch, Wham Bam Tesla Cam. Have you ever heard that channel?
No, I've never heard
Okay.
of Bam Tesla.
I get into weird YouTube
Okay.
YouTube niches, right? The latest one,
right.
it's been about 2 months, right? I'm obsessed with these crash videos that are caught by Teslas, that involve Teslas, right? Because they have the whole view and he narrates,
Yes.
yup, this person didn't yield to this light and this is how it happened. Like just the craziest stuff on the road.
That's funny.
All caught in HD with the Tesla cam. So I've been a little bit,
All right.
that's how I go to bed, That's how I unwind in my night. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
But
I'll check out Wham Bam Tesla.
how are you, good sir? Everything's all good with you? Good with you?
Yeah, no, everything's all good. Just I'm going to be playing part 2 shortly for my partner because they want to know what happens, and so I want to be able to share with them before they get spoiled eventually.
Indeed.
Do that.
I've been wrestling with that because I do want to play it, obviously, right?
Yes.
But it's like, I feel like a director's cut, it's probably kind of some, right? I know,
yeah.
I know it's stupid.
PS5 Pro, sure.
Something
Yeah,
like that. Yeah, something like that. Like, I know I'm the broken one. I know I'm the dumb one that's like, hey, if you want to play it, just go play it,
Yes.
But like, to choke out someone with the dual sense haptic feedback, the adaptive triggers of the bow,
Sure.
But it is nice. And honestly, that's all I need. 60 frames. Patch with the PS5. Beautiful. Happy they did that. But shout out to daylight savings. That happened, I gotta always bring it up. Because here in AZ we don't change time, so
Yeah, well, I'm jealous about that.
Yeah. I hope we stop doing that. We should stop.
As a country? Yeah.
Yeah. We should stop. But down below. Oh wait, but before we move on, of course, Mario, where can the people find you?
Yeah, of course, you find me ever at Point in Progress at youtube.com/Point in Progress, where you find all my content, as well as future reviews and other podcasts. And I'll talk about those podcasts at the end of the show.
Indeed. And of course, while you are down there, make sure to check out Annie Wershing's GoFundMe if you want to support her family. She was the original actress for Tess, who died early on in this series. So GoFundMe down below if you'd like to donate to the family and such. Going on to some news here. We got some quick news. You brought up part 2. Let's just bring it up now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think this was unveiled or said in the post Last of Us Troy Baker podcast, right? I think this was said there.
At least they brought it up as basically how they would break up the story. In 2 different parts.
Yeah.
Which is something I think they even brought up beforehand as well. At least talked about that season 2 would not necessarily be the entirety of the second game, because that game is pretty much more expansive, if I had to say so.
Way more.
So they can absolutely flesh things out if they just consult. So yeah, we're probably gonna see an extended version of what the second game would be like.
Yeah. Light spoilers for those that, have not played. Oh, whoa. Mario was gone.
I disappeared for a second.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Spoilers for part 2. There's the oh shit. There's no way
I think we're good.
We're gonna be able to talk about how they're gonna split part 2 without spoiling it. So timestamps down below, but if you hear quickly, part 2 will be covered in multiple seasons, not just one, right? But this is from Push Square. Read straight from the article here. In a GQ interview, Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin are asked if the second season will cover part 2. Quote, no way, responds Mazin. Druckmann adds, it's more than one season. He elaborates talking about what he's excited for as they move to the sequel. Quote, some of the stuff I'm excited for in part 2 are the changes we've discussed and seeing the story come to life again in this other version. And I think it's exciting because it leans into those feelings you had from the game really heavily in a new way. Unquote. For me, it's the part of the feelings that we had in the game, right? Because Druckmann has said a lot that like part 1's about love, part 2 is about hate, right? And like the way the game is designed and how things happen in part 2, they're purposely in such an order where you're meant to hate Abby, right?
Yes.
You're meant to dislike her, right? And then over the course of time, at least for me personally, which I feel like they succeeded in it, right? Where there's a point in time where it's like, damn, am I more partial to Abby? So much so is that like I look at Ellie in a very different way of like, I don't even like what you're doing right now, Ellie. You know what I'm saying? Like it's meant to have this interesting play, from the player's perspective, right? So they say here that they're going to want to lean into that from the show standpoint, and I'm very curious to see how they do that, right? But what do you think about this? Like what do you think about that quote and just overall, and like where would you kind of draw the lines? Let's say we're splitting up part 2 into 2 seasons. Like where would you have the cutoff? I'm very curious about that.
I would say I would pretty much have the cutoff possibly after the theater scene, which is basically Abby and Ellie's like big confrontation that they have, and sort of Abby basically has the upper hand on Ellie at this point, but she chooses to let her go. And then to me, the second half of the season to me is everything else that happens after that, including the crazy ending that we get. Partially because I feel like the second season, the way that they've bridged this entire first season as it's one complete whole, and I think that when it encompasses love, I think that with the second season, that could be all of the hate aspect of Left 4 Dead. Well, I would hope then part 3 or the second half of that can all be the redemption arc area stuff of like how we feel about Abby, how our emotions change towards Abby, but also Ellie's sort of journey and what she goes through, because at a certain point she still loses her way, even when she ends up making different decisions that we expect her to do, but she still loses so much. And so I'm curious of like how they could bridge that in a third season, and then what that could be if the third season ends up being about loss or something else entirely. I'm curious of how they could honestly tie that all, or redemption. I think their season could just be redemption in the right voice too.
Okay.
Love, hate, redemption. I'm curious about like those themes.
Live, laugh, love. No, I'm playing. I like I like that because I tweeted a little bit about it on Twitter where like I think between both flashbacks, right, of Ellie and Abby, I think you have enough there to set up, because you could, because it's tough, because how do you go into Abby's backstory without revealing the fallout of why she even leaves the Fireflies, goes to the WLF, trains for multiple years to become a killer to be able to come out and kill this man. Like I guess I can't do that. Well, then I guess, okay, so maybe not Abby's flashbacks, but I think there's enough Ellie and Joel flashbacks, and even up to the night of the season finale could be the big fight that they have in the middle of the dance floor in Jackson, right?
Sure.
When like their relationship like completely falls apart and the truth comes out. Well, no, the truth doesn't come out then. It comes out a few years before that. But
Yeah, they
Yeah.
have a random encounter that they sort of are going through, and then they basically all the truth comes out at that point. I don't. I think that they could definitely extend that, especially in even into part three.
Yeah.
I think part three is gonna have the final guitar moment, or him like on the in the what was it, the porch with her,
Yeah.
where there's like a reconciliation there.
Mm.
I think that's where the third. That's why I think that's why I'm, in my heart it's the third part of this, or the second season past the first one. That's where like the redemption stuff comes in, and
Okay.
where Ellie starts to open up about Joel. It starts, those moments start coming apart, and that's what I'm hoping for. But again, they honestly, there's so much to cover, especially with like all the religious aspects of season or part two. Obviously, the different fractions that are also introduced with the wolves and stuff like that. So there's a whole lot that they could delve into. I am interested that there'll be less. I know that a lot of people said that like there's like this season has been like vignetted with these like different groups. So like Bill and Frank, and then Sam and Henry. There's going to be a lot less of that, and more focusing hopefully then on the two sides, whether it be Abby and or people that are from Jackson.
Right.
I'm curious. I'm curious how they're going to handle that, as well as everything with Lev and their
Lev and
sister.
Yara.
Like
Yeah.
that's a lot. That's a lot to get through, and I'm very curious of what the season will look like. And I bet that once we see the first trailer of it, we're gonna have a sense, because they're gonna show certain things that we'll have a sense of exactly
where they're
it's
going
leaving off for sure.
Yeah. For sure. It's just like, I mean, for those unaware, right? Like the original Last of Us is about a 12-hour game,
Yeah.
give an hour or two, but I'd say on average about 12 hours. Part two at the quickest is a 30-hour game.
Yes.
Easily.
Yes. Easily.
So, and there's like, even aside from Seattle Day 1, 2, and 3, then Abby's Seattle Day 1, 2, and 3, and then you have that period where they're both kind of like their stories mix. We have Santa Barbara, like they're the flashbacks. There's so much there,
Yeah. I honestly think it ends with like, what's his face is dead. Oh my god, I forgot his name. Dina's baby daddy.
Oh, Jesse
dies.
Yeah.
Tommy gets shot, and Ellie and Abby fight. That's your season one.
Oh,
or your season. That's your.
To end right there.
That's what ends right there. Lets her go. Then that resentment carries over into part 3, which then we get the other half of the story. I feel like season 2 is going to be the 3 days, but told from both perspectives. I think the first half of the season is going to be Ellie's, and I think the second half is going to be Abby's. And then they're going to meld together that final episode where Jesse dies. People that Abby knows are dead. And then, that coalesces with them moving on to season 3, which then season 3 could focus on Lev and then begin that redemption arc with that character.
Okay.
That goes in that direction. I'm seeing where they could stop and where that third season would be powerful.
Dude.
Yeah.
I just like where you want to have the cliffhanger, because Abby straight up says, I gave you a chance to live and you wasted it. Like, that would be a crazy finale. The people would go crazy. Oh, that'd be insane. Oh,
people would freak the fuck out and hate her even more. And then you get the third season, and it's just like, shit, I like this person.
I love part 2, man. And I love how
play it again. Very excited to play it again.
I just love where that whole thing takes place too, where it's in like a theater, like it's such a cool. Part 2 is like, listen, man. Part 2 is incredible, man. Listen,
part 2, man. Give it its flowers. Honestly.
Big ups to part 2. A lot of haters, but big up to part 2. You know what I'm saying? I like your tweet this week too. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people, have they fucking hot takes and this and that.
I watched the little like behind the scenes thing, and I knew from his last line, I was like, I knew people are gonna be so upset about him saying that. And sure enough, like that, the moment that I turned on Twitter, that was the first thing I saw was just like people shit on him saying like he thinks that this is the most beautiful story of video games. I'm like, yes, this is this one man's opinion. He's not speaking for everyone. He is speaking what he believes in his truth. So don't take that too personally. If you don't like the story, fine. That is okay. You can like Miss Pac-Man. You can like Metal Gear Solid. You know, like it's fine. It's okay.
It's just sometimes it's just not fun. And like I felt myself even like taking, you know, I tweet a lot less than when I used to, you know.
Sure. Me too.
For a multitude of reasons, but like it's just, you know, it's just at a certain point it's just not it's not additive, it's not anything that, you know, is really informative, you know. It's kind of just tiring, you know, like
it gets tiring, and it's just like you're feed the negativity on something that is supposed to be meant to be a beautiful thing. He's just saying that he loves the stories, and well, I don't know why you can get wrong with it.
Yeah, and I'm sure you agree. I agree as well. The Last of Us is one of my favorite stories of all time across any mediums, like not even just games, you know.
Yes, in general.
It is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Also, Metal Gear Solid 3 exists too, but you know, I'm not saying anything else.
I don't even like MGS3, bro. That's what I'm saying. I don't even like MGS3. I don't even like MGS3. But
love Bloom on the battlefield.
That line does go hard though. What a thrill.
Yes.
Fire. Last thing I want to say is that I really hope that, yes, there is a lot of negativity. A lot of people just want to slam dunk on Last of Us just because it's a cool thing to do nowadays, whatever, right? I really hope that at some point, part 2 gets its proper flowers. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like those that loved it were just trounced on from people that fucking hated it. And that became, and with the leaks and like, it just, you know, it just was a really, I just don't think it was a great time to really give part 2 its due, because I do think it's a masterpiece, you know?
Yeah, it just came out at such a rough time.
It was rough. It was rough.
Not ready for it. And honestly, I understand that sentiment specifically, but at the same time, I was still able to separate. That's how I was still.
Remember when it got so bad that Naughty Dog in May, they delayed it indefinitely? Yeah. For like 3 weeks. We didn't know when it was coming out. And that was, it was a lot, guys. It was a lot. That was some crazy
Remember
shit.
It got leaked? Also got leaked
that
too,
leak was insane. God damn it.
Goddamn. But anyway.
I dodged all of them. I dodged all of them. I got lucky. Next up here, we got some viewership numbers here for The Last of Us HBO. Episode 9 got 8.2 million viewers to tune in to the finale. In comparison, the first episode got 4.7 million, and it steadily goes up. I believe off the top of my head, I read somewhere, there's some math that you can do to figure this out. If you want to correct me down below, go ahead. I think it's like a 74% increase from episode 1 to episode 9 in terms of viewership. So, and episode 5 numbers are a bit inflated at 11.6.
Yes.
That's because they included the Friday, Saturday, Sunday numbers because it debuted early for the Super Bowl, right? So episode 5 it's at 11.6, and that's got that context. That's over 3 days versus the 1 days for everyone else. So performed very well. You know what I'm saying? I think it, I just don't know if this is right, but I remember seeing something where like the House of the Dragons finale got like 8 million or 8.1. Like
I think it beat House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
That's the headline I've been seeing, is that it beat House of the Dragon, which is crazy because this is a theoretically new IP.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And obviously that was a follow-up series to one of the more beloved series of all time, withstanding the final episode.
One of the biggest shows of all time. I mean,
one of the biggest shows of all time.
Yeah,
there are people named Khaleesi because of that show. And now there's going to be people naming kids Ellie and Joel, which is hilarious.
Indeed. What a time.
Congrats to them.
And this is great too, because I hope now, HBO cuts, now it's like, hey, all cards are on the table. How big, like, what check do y'all need? You know, and HBO can cut that no problem. You know, so that's why I like to see those big numbers. You know, it really does.
Do you need us to build you an island, the Seraphic Island? Yeah, sure. Okay,
can we do it,
Here's all
please?
the money.
Listen, how about this? How about we rent Seattle as a whole? You know, everyone move out. You know, listen, we're gonna shoot for about 9 weeks. We'll put you somewhere.
Buy Canada, pretend it's Seattle. There you go.
I can't wait to see it's not called the Space Needle, but the Seattle building. I can't wait to see that. Sure. Oh my god, what a time!
We're gonna be seeing a lot of stuff. It's gonna be great.
Indeed. And lastly, here in the news, my monitor keeps like messing up. I need a new monitor. Hate to see it, but the last news bit here is that The Last of Us HBO is getting a Blu-ray release. This is coming to us once again from Push Square. Links below to all of the news, including this last one here. Quote, available to pre-order now on Amazon with a planned launch of July 17th is the home release that will include all 9 episodes alongside nearly 3 hours of special features, including 3 all-new featurettes. So they say you can also buy it in like standard Blu-ray or DVD formats as well, but I need to see these featurettes.
Baby.
Oh yeah,
I need to buy them. I'm buying it day one. I'm already pre-ordering if I can.
What? I don't have
play it on your PS5.
I don't have a Blu-ray player.
Oh no, the digital only.
I did.
PS5, right?
Oh, this is bad. This is very, very bad.
This is bad. No, now you gotta invest yourself into.
Oh wait, no, I have a PS3. I have a PS3. I can.
It's not 4K.
Ah, shit. I'll figure it out. Damn, it's not.
I don't know. Looks like we're starting Xbox, PlayStation source.
Damn, I gotta figure that out. Oh
yeah.
I'll figure it out, guys. I'll figure it out. Yeah. Because I need a break. No, I need
new PS5 is in his future.
Damn, the PS5 Pro. I guess I really do need it. That's crazy.
But I'm excited for this. I'm a huge collector of physical media, and there was no way in hell I wasn't going to buy the physical version of this. HBO is one of the few networks that still put their stuff out on Blu-ray right away, which is great because, you know, things like Netflix are a hit or miss. I have the first 2 seasons of Stranger Things on Blu-ray.
Nice.
But I don't have the later halves because they still haven't released them. So I'm happy that I'm at least going to have a physical copy of the show, and you can't remove this from HBO Max.
Indeed.
So
Indeed.
Take that.
Take that, home box office. Going in to episode 9, breakdown notes. Yes. Look for the light. We get a cold open. You called this. You said, hey.
Yep.
You can get a cold open for this last episode, and we definitely did. No. We gotta just give it up, really. Yo, Ashley Johnson, Supremacy. The tears I instantly had when I heard her. I was like, oh, that's Ashley. Let's go. Ashley Johnson is Anna in the beginning of this episode. I was already just like instantly just like emotional when I heard Ashley Johnson. So love to see her there. So during this scene, you know, she's running away from presumably the QZ that Marlene brings up later on in the episode. She's running to this house that she's been to before, presumably.
It has a Firefly logo on the on one of the big building that's on the left of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it has a giant Firefly logo on it.
Oh, so it's definitely the fuck out. Wait, that's cool.
It's definitely yeah, you'll see it in a second here, but it's definitely like an outhouse or something that they have, like some sort of safe house that they have that's on the field. Honestly, this is just a random thought. This is probably not true. It kind of reminds like, is that the farm in part 2?
That has to be a call out to it, right? And like what I hope it is.
It's all dilapidated, but you can see they're on the silo.
Yeah, I saw it. I'm glad you brought it up because this is either a really easy reference, right? Or I hope that this is the same house that Ellie and Dina returned to with JJ.
Sure.
Like Marlene said that, hey, like this is where you were born. Literally here in this house, That would be cool. But because I'm a psychopath and I have timelines going, this should roughly take place in 2009. 14 years before the modern day. Ellie's 14. That's how I got that. But roughly 2009. She's running away from an infected. So my thought too is I bet the infected are able to follow her all the way to this house because she's running in the woods. So I'm thinking maybe there's like exposed roots that she's stepping on. Maybe that was just my thought.
Possibly.
Yeah.
No, possibly.
Yeah.
Honestly, but you would think there'd be more than just the one.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the idea could absolutely be there.
Right. Right. Do you think this is the same jacket that Ellie's wearing as well? That
No,
Anna's wearing?
I don't.
No, you
No,
don't.
I don't
Okay.
think. No, it'd be a nice little touch, but I think the only thing that they leave her. Oh no, actually, that's the jacket that she's getting carried in, right? Yeah. Huh.
Oh, it is. Yeah. No, it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Yep. You're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. You
You're
know
right.
what? Maybe
That is-
maybe you can make a very good point.
I totally forgot that she cradles Ellie in that jacket. No,
Yes.
you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's
You're
it.
absolutely right.
This is, listen, crazy fucking scene here, okay? Anna has to fight off this infected while she, oh, by the way, this whole time, forgot to mention it. No, she's in labor. She's, her like
Straight
water
up.
breaks,
Straight
like,
up in labor.
yo, dead ass labor, straight up.
Yeah.
So she simultaneously not only kills this infected with her famous switchblade,
Yes.
right? Gets bit on the thigh, but also
Yes.
has birth.
Yeah.
That's
And cuts the umbilical cord with a knife.
yeah, that's pretty impressive. I ain't gonna hold you.
It's a lot happening in like 5
That's a
minutes.
lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, and to have the like the wherewithal to do it too is just like absolutely like
Yeah.
it's impressive.
How hard did you cry when Ashley said, "You fucking tell him, Ellie"? God.
And it's in the Ellie voice because you can't separate Ashley Johnson without the Ellie voice. Yeah, man, this is crazy. This is the actress who created this character in a lot of ways, gave Ellie so much life, and now it's her passing the torch almost to Bella Ramsey, even though Bella Ramsey's not obviously in the scene. But the idea of passing this to a new medium, no, absolutely adored this, and yeah, they were just absolutely wonderful. Be able to capture all the moments. This is a supposedly has been a story that Neil Drucker's been trying to tell in so many different ways. I've heard him try to say like there's been art like that's been featured with like a pregnant lady with the gas mask in
Yep.
part 2, I want to say. There's obviously so apparently he was working with either a game company or with a game studio to produce like a short film of this. There were talks about that. But basically, they wanted to tell like this was the story that they've had in mind for Ellie's mother, and this is the first real adaptation of it. Because once Craig heard it, he was like, "Yeah, we gotta fucking do that." So,
Fire.
and there's the only person they thought about doing it, and that of course was Ashley Johnson. So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
no, absolutely love this.
Yeah, just that you fucking tell him, Ellie, like while Ellie's crying, you know, like, oh god, that's so perfect, man. It's perfect, dude. It's really good. So after this, you know, we cut to the credits, but I want to give a little insight, right? Throughout this episode, I was personally waiting. I said last week I was waiting to see if they would have the photo of Joel and Sarah, right?
Yes.
Didn't happen, right? Another item that we haven't seen yet, and to be fair, maybe these two things exist later on in the series, but we don't know yet. But I was waiting to see Anna's note to Ellie,
Sure.
right? Which Anna writes this presumably in between the last scene before the intro and then after the intro when we get here with Marlene and the Fireflies. And like, if I could really quick, I would like to read the note really quick. Is that too much?
Sure. Yeah, good.
Ellie, I'm going to share a secret with you. I'm not a big fan of kids and I hate babies. And yet I'm staring at you and I'm just awestruck. You're not even a day old and holding you is the most incredible thing I've is the most incredible thing I've done in my life. A life that is about to get cut a little short. Marlene will look after you. There's no one in this world I trust more than her. When the time comes, she'll tell you all about me. Don't give her too much of a hard time. Try not to be as stubborn as me. I'm not gonna lie, this is a pretty messed up world. It won't be easy. The thing you always have to remember is that life is worth living. Find your purpose and fight for it. I see so much strength in you. I know you'll turn out to be the woman you're meant to be. Forever, your loving mother, Anna. Make me proud, Ellie. And that, that context, bro. Oh my, because it flows so nicely into this next scene with Marlene and the Fireflies. They go up and pretty much, there was a part of me that thought that, okay, is Anna immune, thus making Ellie immune, right? But we see the two comparisons of the bites. It's definitely getting worse. In this scene right here that we're like about to look at on Discord, like her bite is definitely getting worse. So Anna is definitely becoming infected for sure. But I'll just let you kind of, take this. Like, there was one detail that Marlene says that I want to bring up later on, but like, how do you feel about kind of like this whole scene as a whole, with Marlene finding, I almost said Ellie, Anna and Ellie, and like, where are you at with this?
No, I think this was the perfect way to set up their characters. And obviously, this is a tough choice for Marlene. She almost doesn't shoot her. She walks away and just takes the baby. Overall, the way that you find her is just so sad because she's holding her baby, but she has the knife to her throat. And I feel like that the moment she feels any sort of hesitation of turning into anything, she was immediately going to just start ending her own life.
Yeah.
Which I found, very sad. Yeah, there she was wearing the jacket. But yeah, no, that we don't get a whole lot of obviously Marlene and Anna, but this little setup here is just all we need really to carry on what I feel like is what we see in the first episode, and then again later when we meet her later in this episode. It is devastating, at the say least. The thing that made me take a step back, and maybe Kevin, I don't know if you realized, is that these are two actresses playing nearly the same characters that they played before. Obviously, Anna is a new version of it, but these guys worked together on this game 10 years ago. Crazy. Now here they are on live action, acting out a scene for the live action television series. To me, that was not lost on me. That this show had so much care to have that opportunity to even happen. There is just so much love given to both the game, the people involved in making the game, the music. And this scene just really emphasized that even further and added so much to the Last of Us story, in my opinion.
It's great.
Also, gives us an idea of how maybe a cure works, which is if a baby is born in Euro and you cut the umbilical cord right before a possibility of like an infection, then maybe, hey, you get more immune people. They obviously will never do that again, probably. But yeah, I don't know. I thought that was an interesting way to explain that finally.
Yeah.
Why she's possibly immune. But,
yeah. I'm a little about having an explanation on it. I just think it would have been really cool to like at least just immune. Like I don't like that's one of those things where like I guess it would have been cool to have an explanation. But like I'm not really like waiting for that. I think it would have been completely fine if we never got it explained. But it is what it is. Marlene says that they were delayed getting out of the zone. Right. So my thought process is like, okay, could perhaps Anna have been living in the QZ that they're talking about, right? And she is an informant to the Fireflies, but not a part of the Fireflies herself, right? In a way where Henry was an informant to Fedra. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that was the day where Marlene and the Fireflies took over that QZ and took it back from Fedra in the commotion, right? And it has to run away, goes to the safe house for refuge. In fact, they came over. Like that's my like headcanon of like maybe like that's what happened here, But
sure,
that's kind of like what I'm thinking. But Anna lies to Marlene saying that hey, I was bit after I cut the cord, which ends up not being true.
Adds to a lot of these parents lying for their children, right?
Yeah,
for their safety. So that adds a lot since going on since Ellie's birth.
Yeah. And then one last thing I want to bring up, is a little bit of lore that we know about Anna and Marlene. They were both long-term friends before the outbreak, but they met as co-workers. They were both nurses before everything fell. So that's the little bit of that we know of Marlene and Anna, at least from game lore. And yeah, Marlene takes Anna's life as Anna requested, and then we cut to modern day, where just like in the game, just like this very part here, Ellie is shaken up still. Like she's going through the motions, right? Like she's still not 100% from David and the events of that. It's been months, but it's still affecting her, right?
To me, it symbolized more of, obviously, she's not feeling the same as she was before, but a lot of it's just she's changed, she's grown, and it's because of the journey that we go from the beginning of the game all the way up to this point. She's no longer that shy and that funny little kid, right?
Yeah.
The kid that could quip and is angry. She's just, there's something different has fundamentally changed in this person, and it's, I think, a very good idea to illustrate that because of what we got from so early on. From someone that can make these silly jokes of like the clicker stuff and like all that early on to now this like almost somber teenager.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That's definitely a good point. Yeah, like I was thinking just silo to David, but no, like it's been a year. It's been a year. I love that Joel finds a beefaroni. That's fire. Do you know the game that he finds, Boggle? I've never heard of that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's a real game. It's a bad game, so don't play it.
I like that Joel brings up the guitar, wanting to teach Ellie how to play the guitar, wants to find the guitar. Here we go. Neil Druckmann, please break the game lore. I'll allow you this one. Let's bring in future days. It's fine. It's fine. Everyone, we're going to let this one slide. Okay. I hope so.
They're going to find a way to do it. We'll figure it out.
I love this moment here where, and this just shows how far they've come, right? Where like Joel goes, all right. And then Ellie cuts him off and says, okay, we're going to go up. We're going to find the skyscraper. We're going to go up. We're going to find a way out. And Joel's like, I mean, I found dynamite. I was going to blast through here. I was like, really? And then he's like, no, we're going to do that.
We're going to go to this guy. Yeah. This skyscraper.
I like that.
I think this is the most they felt connected as just a pair, right? So he's actually joking with her. They're actually having somewhat of a rapport together. This is the most dad Joel that we've gotten since, say, the beginning of it. And you can absolutely see that. And it's almost in a way where it's like, he's almost like a lost puppy dog where he's trying his best to make her feel better, but just can't help it. Can't really find the right thing. And it's not until this moment where things start getting a little nicer.
Indeed. We get to this this building here, which I'm going to count as a feeding into the Joel used to be a contractor type thing, where he goes, damn, like they bombed this whole city, but like they didn't bomb the building that they were trying to demolition anyway. Like I really like that detail there. That may not be directly tied to his contractor background, but I'm going to tie it just a little bit. That was cool.
I just like it, just the uselessness of government.
Yeah, that too. That too.
Yes.
We gotta come on. I'll give you a boost. Fireland, love that.
Oh my god, I popped hard for that, and before I even knew that this was gonna tie in later, I was like, yes.
Give you a boost.
Video game stuff.
We got it. It's us. We're being seen, Mario. We're being seen. Then this pretty much plays out exactly like the game.
Exactly.
Like 1-to-1.
Oh,
and this happens a lot. Pretty much this is 1-to-1. We have the military camp, which is not 1-to-1, but not 1-to-1. And then pretty much
part of it.
And then
edited just
and then pretty much from the flashbang onwards, that is 1-to-1, like to a T. So this is the famous giraffe scene. Ellie's supposed to go up, toss on the ladder. She gets caught off guard by something. She runs off. Joel's chasing her. I love that Joel has the same fear that at least me as a player had. Because I'm like, listen, like you can't just be up and running anywhere in this world. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
At least in the game, like I feel like it's meant to be like a little bit tense of like what is she doing? Like anything could happen around like any corner. And then we get to the giraffe scene. How they go for you, brother? What's up? I love it.
They did the thing.
Yeah.
They did it. Like, it was beautiful. It was perfect. the music kicking in the way that it does. I mean, the fact that this is a real giraffe is also adding more craziness to it. So it's funny because watching it now, I'm like, oh, how is it a real giraffe? Because when I first watched it, like, it looks CGI. It's because it's CGI from the neck down. But from the head up, that is a real giraffe's head, because they actually went to, I think, the Calgary Zoo is what they said, and they built a green screen room just so they can have this moment. And there is photos of it online. You can check it out and see. And it's pretty crazy that they're able to not only replicate this moment, the fact that we have a giraffe, they also replicated the area in which the video game exists in, which, if you remember, it's that big open field.
Yep.
There is that sign in the background, which, did you see the lore on the sign?
I didn't. Please enlighten
So
me.
there's you'll see in this background, they're in a park. There's like a park basically.
Yeah.
There's a sign that said, I forgot what the name it said. I think it was like Rebecca Davis Field or something like that. Rebecca Clark Field.
Okay.
One of the people that worked on the game said that, like, I can't believe 10 years later, my little joke for my wife would end up in the live action version in the game. And therefore, yes, it's the fact that, yeah, that field is named after one of the game creators' wives. Yeah, they're Bethany Clark Field, as you can see there.
That's
on the
awesome.
screen. But,
That's
the
so
fact that
awesome.
it's now
dude.
immortalized. It's immortalized on the TV show as well as it is in the video game. Is
Dude, I would
awesome.
be stoked, bro. I would be stoked.
Yeah.
I would be going crazy, bro. Oh, that's so great. That's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome. I love the herd of giraffes too, you know, that walks off. I really love that as well. They have this similar conversation, which basically boils down to Joel saying that we don't have to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can just go back to Tommy's and just forget about all this. And then Ellie counters and says that we've done so much. We've been through so much. I've done so much. This can't be for nothing, you know?
Yes.
She goes on to say, you know, like, after this, you know, we can go to your sheep ranch. We can go to the moon, like little callback to past conversations. But then she underlines it by saying, like, I'll follow you everywhere. I mean, I'll follow you wherever you go, you know? Just a really great scene of, like, you know, of Joel kind of like not knowing what's going to happen next. And, like, I think it brought Joel, like, a lot of peace of, like, okay, like, she's on board to, like, stick together, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was a really sweet moment too. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the only thing. The only thing that I really like too is that Joel sticks around before he goes off and follows Ellie. And I like that because if those that don't know, when you play the game, if you don't touch anything on your controller, the game will let you stare at the view with Ellie for as long as you want.
Yeah.
It will not interrupt it, you know? It's only when you move Joel, that's when Ellie goes, all right, come on, let's go. You know?
Yeah,
So now, maybe not a direct tie, but I think a little bit, you know? Why not?
Just a cute little moment for sure. No, but I love that this is like, hey, this is the one thing I got left. The only thing that this can mean is there has to be meaning to this.
Yeah.
And that actually ties a lot to why the ending is so dark. But we'll get there.
Indeed.
But yeah, what was the next part?
We go to the military camp, which I think this is the first thing that happens in the game. I think so. I forget if it's after. I forget if it's after, because I know there's one specifically where they have the side conversation where Joel says, hey, like, I went to one of these early on in the outbreak as well, and then that's where we get the photo of Joel and Sarah that we don't get here, but it's in this part. I just forget when it happens in the game, but we get something a lot more dark in this that is new to the series, where you know, we call back to a conversation where Joel had a scratch on his head, and then he says, hey, it was from someone that shot and missed, you know. And then Joel is thinking of that as he's explaining that when he was at this military camp, it was 2 days after the outbreak, and then Ellie asked if Sarah was there, Joel says, she wasn't, she was gone by then. And like, I end up here because of the mark that I got shot, and then Joel reveals that I was the one that shot and missed, which is inciting that he was going to kill himself, or he attempted to kill himself after Sarah died.
Yeah.
Very heavy. And like, this is not new for Joel's character. It is said in side conversations that Joel attempted suicide in the past, right? But this is the most like spotlight it's given its moment, which it never was in the game, as like his backstory. I guess I'll read just like a little bit of what he says, where he says that Sarah died, so he couldn't see the point anymore, that he wasn't scared and he was ready to die. But then when he attempted to pull the trigger, he flinched and still doesn't know why he flinched to this day. Ellie thinks that he knows why he's telling her this, which is to lead to a teaching moment of like, time heals all wounds, right? Like, she thinks that he's trying to like give her that talk to help, ease her and like whatever she's going through, right? But Joel replies saying, it wasn't time that did it, and stares at Ellie. And it's one of the most
and when Ellie realizes it too, it's just, oh my God. I was already tearing up at this point.
it's right here. Yeah. We got it right here. Yeah.
There's the look. And it's just like, yeah, no, it's these two characters truly love each other. It's fully established. And like, yeah, it makes for what comes up. So such an interesting end to this version of the story.
Yeah. I thought this moment was extremely powerful. Like, just underlying that, like, it goes beyond like, I feel just like a friendship, right? Like it really does. I mean, he's saying that like he found purpose in Ellie, and like this is what he's fighting for. You know, it's her, right? And like, I just think that was such a powerful scene. Like, really, really good scene. I really, really enjoyed that.
Yeah, and I love this more than anything that the video game had done personally, in terms of like all the action bits and like fighting all the infected. Like,
yeah,
granted that was fun in the video game. I wanted the characters to be able, and you can see Ellie kind of revert back to her childish self, right? She's telling jokes, and that's the stuff that I enjoy. I will say though, I was scared when I saw the people show up behind me.
Hell yeah, bro. There's a factions map that takes place in one of these.
Just looks just like this. Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna bro. You know what it looks like? It looks like the outside of that Pittsburgh map.
Yes.
And I saw the hunters. I was like, yo, this is fucking factions. What the fuck?
Factions 2 come out already.
It's right here. Look, they showed us. No. I like when Abby tells the apocalypse joke. Joel goes, as topical. Like, I just thought that was funny. But yeah, fireflies come up behind them, flashbang, Joel and Ellie, and then Joel gets knocked out. Ellie is taken by the fireflies. And then we go from here on out. It is 1-1, aside from one line later on in the episode that is at the very end, right?
Yeah.
And Joel wakes up, Marlene explaining this whole rigmarole with Ellie and like what they're gonna do to her and everything. But early on in the conversation, I do like how like Marlene underlines the point of like, she almost can't believe that he's here with Ellie, right? Like, because she's like, I've lost so many men making that trip.
5 dudes.
Yeah, like 5 people, like, and she's like, we barely made it, So she's like, how did you guys do this? And like, I just think that just shows a testament to like how brutal this trip was from Boston to Salt Lake City, right? And like how capable Joel is, like Ellie did a lot of it, and I like that Joel gave her credit where it's like, it was all her. Like, she fought like hell to get here. Like, I love that line too. And then we get the whole thing, right? Where Marlene explains Ellie's immunity, right? She says, this is a direct quote, our doctor, likely Jerry Anderson, Abby's father, He thinks that the cordyceps in Ellie has grown with her since birth. It produces a kind of chemical messenger. It makes normal cordyceps think that she's cordyceps. It's why she's immune. He's going to remove it from her. He's going to remove it from her, multiply the cells in the lab, produce those chemical messengers, and then we can give it to everyone. He thinks it could be a cure, Joel. A cure. In the game, they never go into this depth. So that is a difference. Where like it's never put two together, and we get that with that opening scene in this episode that like we're able to put the pieces together, and like the reason is that she had cordyceps since birth, and it created, for lack of a better term, I guess antibodies, and like acted like a bit of a vaccine, right? Where other cordyceps think that.
Yeah, it kept itself in check, so that way it never fully gone, full bore. So even when she gets bitten, twice beforehand, nothing happens. She sort of has the receptors needed in order to fight it.
Yeah, and it's also cool from like someone that did The Last of Us Iceberg, where one of the entries was like, "What is the nature of her immunity?" Because like.
Sure.
Was it completely she's just immune and that until she's born? We speculated, was it that Abby got bit while she was giving birth? That's ends up being the case here. Is it a thing of like, then also like the nature of the infection within Ellie, right? Like that was long debated. Is it not there, or does she have growth of the cordyceps in her body? And she does.
Sure.
So like that was all speculated, but now we have clear answers here, from this show of like what is the nature of that. But then, she explains that Joel puts two and two together, that cordyceps grows on the brain, and they're gonna have to do surgery that will kill her. Joel doesn't like that, you know what I'm saying? And we're gonna go from there. But I did want to say, ladies and gentlemen, if you go to 30 minutes and 57 seconds, you can also see this on my Twitter. I believe I found Abby. All right. No, it's not the girl with the pigtail. I think it's her right here, standing as she's watching Joel and the two guards take Joel away.
Does have a gun though.
Did she not have a gun beforehand?
She's carrying a gun.
I
don't know. My thing is, is she a child at this point, or is she a child soldier? I don't know. That's my only.
There is that. That's it's a good point.
Well,
it's a good
point.
Find
out. We'll find out in season 2.
That's my prediction. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
And then I like there's a brief pause here where Joel stops and looks at the floors. I like that because it's like, okay, like he said, okay, like I gotta go to the operating room. At least that's what I think he was doing. That's my.
He's doing. Yep. No, he's absolutely looking
right there. Yeah.
Pediatric surgery.
He's like, all right, bet. He's like, I know where I'm going. And then we see Joel unleash. I want to hear your thoughts. How do you feel about this whole encounter? We'll talk globally about Joel killing all these fireflies to get to the operating room.
Yeah. I would say economically, I think they did a great job in terms of being able to show just the viciousness of his assault. He very much is unrelenting up into an extent. There is actually a restraint in this, specifically in the later half of the fight. But overall, like he is going full bore. In this instance, you're playing this as a player. You're going through and you're making your assault ascent to basically Ellie. And in our instance, we'd probably die a bunch of times. So to see a man do this all like near perfect execution is pretty wild. But we've heard stories, we've heard things throughout this entire season that sets up that he would be a capable person to be able to do this. So for me, this wasn't a stretch of one man being able to take down an army of people, because we have to remind ourselves that these are not military trained people. These are just people. These are people that are taking up arms against a fascist society that they want to see changed. And so not everyone's going to have the gun skills that this guy possibly has, which we all know his brother was in the military. Was he also in the military? They didn't necessarily go into that, but we do know that at least his brother was. There are other things going on here that I think add up to why, this is, perfect way for him to do this. But to me, what I enjoyed was the dark version of the score that plays in this scene as well. It adds to it, and it just adds to the fucked up sadness of like everything that he like just does. Like even like right there, kills a man who gives up. Like just absolutely just does not have any regard for anyone else but the thing that his goal is. Except for when he eventually, of course, gets into the room where he spares the nurses, which you could theoretically do when you play in the game. I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the original cutscene, you kill the nurses. But yeah, I don't know. That gun looks exactly like from the game. That was so cool. Yeah, this scene is just it's affecting all its glories, and I know that people were also hungry star for action in the show. This was your action scene.
Yeah,
you can see it. So
if you could play it back too, because I think we're about to get to this, but like for me,
yeah,
I really like this, whole part because like this is the Joel that Joel thought was not capable of protecting Ellie and taking her the rest of the way when she was telling Tommy.
Yeah.
This is the Joel that Tommy was like, I know you can make it. Like we all lived through those 20 years. Like I know what you did. I know what you made me do. I saw what you did. I know what you're capable of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is the Joel that even Marlene knew in that 20-year gap before she took Tommy away from Joel and they went on, right? Like and this is the Joel that I think Joel wishes he was with Sarah on Outbreak Day, right? Like this is the killer, and like I think wholeheartedly like this is his way, at least from the story, from like the show's perspective. Like this is Joel not wanting to do the same mistake again, right?
Yes.
Of not saving, for lack of a better term, his daughter. Not blood, but y'all know what I'm saying, right? So yes. I really like how dark the scene is. I really love it. My only thing, I really wish that this was a one-shot take.
Of course.
I wish this was like even go the whole night. Maybe not like hooked onto the back right-hand side and make it look just like the game, but like I would have loved to have just had the camera behind Joel and we just see his victims in front of him and he's reaching to his backpack, he's getting ammo, he's scavenging, like sneaking around. Like I would have loved to have
He's kind of doing that in the scene.
He is.
I get what you're saying. Absolutely.
I just would have loved for like a Daredevil style, like one shot, just 5 minutes, no cut, just go up to the. I would have loved that. I think that would have been incredible. But montage.
You want to see someone with a turret at the end of a hallway, sneak around the sides.
I don't need him to have the flamethrower like in the game. That was always kind of a weird weapon, right? Like we don't need that, but like I would have loved to have like a one take thing here. But it's cool. It's fine. Yeah, it's okay
for sure.
And then we get, for those that have played part 2, we already know this hallway scene. Oh my! Part 2 so good. We get the hallway. I think the art on the wall is different.
I can't wait to play part 2 and see this again because it looks similar.
It's similar, but
it gives me the same. Yeah. Everything. This whole episode, just everything felt like the Salt Lake City that I played in the game.
Yep.
And that's all that feeling I needed, the feeling that they needed to extract from me. And they just do like look at all this.
Yeah. This is also not new to the game, but like I did think it was cool that like, and I didn't even like really think about till watching the show that like Marlene is nowhere to be seen on these floors, right? So she probably heard the gunfire and was like, I'm not even gonna fucking listen, man. I know Joel. I know what he can do. And she's like, all right, let me go down to the parking garage and cut him off there. Like I thought that was really effective, and like maybe that was it. We get to the operating room. Joel kills the surgeon, Jerry Anderson.
The surgeon.
Absolutely.
Jerry Anderson. That we know. With a cameo in the background.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Laura Bailey. Yeah. Abby. Indeed. Shout out to Laura Bailey.
Do you think they'll bring that character back? Because the character technically lives?
I think they would use her. You know what? That's a really good point. That's a really good point. That's a really good point.
It's like, I knew your father, you know, and then she just like is a friend of
Yeah.
hers, and that'd be interesting. Laura Bailey sticking around.
I hope they do that. I hope they're like, she's the one that is able to tell Abby like, it was this man and I was there.
It was
you know? Yeah.
That would be wild.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be good. See, Abby from the game telling Abby in the show, passing the torch. I like that. That's good. I like that, Mario. I like that. And then pretty much from here, you know, they go down and they have the conversation with Marlene as well. And then like Marlene, and I'll let you take this because you were starting to make this point where Ellie was saying this can't all be for nothing and everything. Marlene kind of calls Joel's bluff in a way of like, you know, this is not what Ellie would have wanted, you know. So
yeah,
I'll let you go deeper.
No,
into that.
No, absolutely. I think that's what makes this scene. I'll say this. The Fireflies are assholes for not letting Ellie make a choice. They went straight into surgery, right in. They never even gave her the option. And then Joel's the asshole, obviously, for just making this decision for Ellie by killing everyone in the building. Ultimately, yes, Marlene goes straight on in and just hits Joel right in the heart of just like, do you realize what you're doing? Like, this is that you're not giving Ellie the chance to possibly save the world. You're risking literally the entire world over this one person. And yeah, of course Joel is gonna fucking do it. Joel is this. Oh my god, Joel is the character that is willing to let everyone else burn just so he can get to the one person he wants, because he's already knows what it feels like and he cannot do it again. Mm-hmm. So this is why I'm 100% behind Joel's decision. Personally, I know that it's a very controversial take, and you know people are going to say otherwise. And leave those conversational takes in the comments below. I would love to hear what your actual thoughts on this ending, even 10 years removed from the original. And so, but yeah, it is rough. It is rough, but yeah, that's why it makes it devastating and such a great ending for the story.
Yeah. Let's talk about it, because to me, this conversation of Joel's decision is a fun conversation to have. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm down to hear all the takes. Yeah, I'm down to hear all the takes. I never blame Joel, right? And like, I think what makes it a little bit different here from the game is that in the game, although Neil Druckmann afterwards has been on record saying like, no, my intent was for this operation to work, right? But that goes kind of against the game, because in the game, it's never really explicitly said that like this is going to work. And to be fair, it's never said in the inverse what it's kind of implying, and that is that there is a chance that this could work, right? Like I think that's more of where the game is at, right? Like that, like we're gonna take this chance and we're gonna try this operation, and like, you know, we're gonna hope it works to give us a cure, right? I think when you have that in the game, I think that's where it's more visible of the two sides, right? I think, you know, but then when you have Neil Druckmann's intent, which is like, no, like the operation was supposed to work, and then we have here in the show where they explain the process a little bit more clear cut, right? I think in the show it's a little bit more on the side of what Neil Druckmann had originally in mind, which was that this operation was going to work, right? So thus, with that being said, Joel's actions completely negated any chance of humanity returning to any sort of normalcy and having a cure or a vaccine, or how you want to call it, right? So I think from the show's perspective, I think it does want you to lean a little bit more, or at least give the proper building blocks to the Joel damned humanity right here. Like his selfish action, in quotes, selfish action, you know, he doomed humanity forever, right? For the sake of Ellie's life, right? And I'm really happy I got to talk to my mom before recording this, because she saw the whole season, right? And she, without hesitation, was like, no, I would do the same thing. And like she was like, because she was like kind of confused, like why I would even like ask. I'm like, well, like I have an opinion, but like it's just been like a long debated thing, you know. And she's like, you know, once you become a parent, right? And like she said verbatim in that part of The Last of Us, like for all intents purposes, like Ellie is Joel's kid, right? That's how she framed it to me. So she's like, bottom line, like in my eyes, the way I viewed it as a parent now, Ellie is Joel's kid. So Joel would do what any parent would do. She said just straight like that. Straight like that. She's like, I don't, you know, like it's, you're not thinking about humanity and other people. You can call that selfish if you want, but it's your kid, you know? Yeah. So she had no problem with that. Like she was straight just like that. So that was really cool to see. But even, you know, to this day, I don't blame Joel. And you can look at the logistics and even the more concrete logistics of like, okay, like in the show, it leads you to believe that like the cure would have worked and all that.
My thing is the cure could have worked, but would people take it? Living in a post-20...
Go ahead.
Living in a 2022 world, would people even take it? Would people take it from these zealots, these other people, you know, like how would have really worked? Would they even have enough chain of, you know, of a pipeline to make enough to actually fix the society? Like there's so many things that you can say that the Fireflies are capable and not capable of doing, but at the same time, it's just like in the grand scheme of things, like there's still so much to go wrong. So for me, I'm on the side that like Joel made the right call.
Yeah. There was a great take. I can't take credit for this. I really apologize for not knowing the @ on Twitter and what her name is, but she was making the point of like her view of the ending is that if a group of Fireflies, right, if Marlene herself, right, are willing to kill a child to try to bring back humanity is already lost. You know, that's how she took it. She's like, that's not humanity. You know, she's like, if in this world of Last of Us, like if you're willing to take away the little bit of humans that are still out there, right? To even take one more away, like that is the loss of humanity in itself. And it's already gone, you know?
Yeah.
And even to the more side of, you're right, where it's like, what is the pipeline to making these vaccines, distributing these vaccines? People aren't going to take it. Even Joel says like, oh, we've heard this song and dance a million times, like with Joel and Tess when Ellie says what the plan is. Like Joel's like, no, like we've like heard this shit before. Like it's not going to happen. You know, it's like, of course people are going to think that. So to me, I don't.
Well, yeah. And to take the real life aspect of it, of just like, yeah, it's 2022, still
that
people
too.
Fucking are just a little weird about vaccines.
Motherfuckers will not take that shit.
No, not at all. So that's why I'm just like, I don't believe it.
Yeah. Also a very good point too. Yeah. And it's like, I mean, my cousin said something too, where it was like, if this was 4 years into the outbreak, you know, maybe we could have seen that happen, right? It's been 20 years. It's been so long that the kid that you're going to kill has no idea what she's even saving.
Yes.
She has no idea of what the life was before, you know?
That is true.
Like, it's been that long. Like, you know, so like, that was his point of like, it's already too far gone. Like there's no way, you know? But that was that, you know? Great little convo of that whole thing. Joel kills Marlene. You know, I love that they kept the line where Joel says that you'll just come back for her if I let you live.
I said it out loud.
Fire.
Boy, oh boy.
Fire.
Woo!
Fire. I love the little Joel trying to be a bit of a father figure of like, because he thinks that Sarah and Ellie would be friends, and then
Yeah.
and Joel's like, oh, but like y'all are like a little bit different, and then he's like, how so? And then he goes, Sarah's like a little bit more girly, but I'm not saying like you're not girly.
That's like, you're not girly.
I love that. Yeah,
Like, I'm not girly.
Yeah.
I'm not girly.
And he does it a little bit again where he's like, and like she has like an incredible smile. Not that you don't have an incredible smile. Like that little back and forth.
He's just falling apart in such
Yeah.
the funniest ways. I love it.
Indeed. And then we get to, as I hope for, Ellie. Okay, so here's the one difference in this is that I don't know if The Last of Us ends with Ellie explicitly saying that she killed Riley. Yeah, no. I think that's new.
That's new.
That's new. Yeah.
That is new.
That's new.
It's now officially a thing that she had to kill Riley.
Yeah. Yeah. That's new.
Which is unfortunate.
Right. Right.
Such an unfortunate, because now there's context to she's saying that it's not the first person she's hurt or killed or something like that. And that was at least alluding to the fact that it was Riley, and now we have the full on confirmation basically.
Yeah.
That's God. That's a lot.
It's yeah. It's
That's
fucked.
a lot.
It's pretty fucked.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get the famous, the lie. We get the I swear. We get the okay. We get the Gustavo. Like, I want to say like drum roll, like guitar picking, but like it just to me like it feels almost like this is our end, like, and it's fucking perfect, guys. It's so good. It's so good.
Did it.
Yeah, I'm just yeah. Well, I think I saw.
What did I was gonna ask you?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what would your mom think about the lie though? That's an interesting thing.
Yeah,
did she have any quotes on that?
Yeah, she was really like, oh man, like she really enjoyed the ending, Yeah, awesome. She was like, oh, like, she was like, I just wonder if like Joel's ever gonna tell her, and I'm like, I'm like, okay.
Do you think your mom would actually let you play Last of Us Part 2 for her?
Fuck, imagine, bro. I don't know what, because
just play the beginning just to freak her out.
Yeah, I was like telling her like, yeah, so like the first game is about 12 hours, and she was like, damn, like that's long. I'm like, Mom, with games, like I'm telling you, like that is short. Like 12 hours is not that bad. 12 hours is not bad,
No.
And then and like she had never like thought about it in that way. I'm like honestly, like it's like watching a 12 episode season. Like you can kind of think of it roughly. That's going to be about 12 hours, Yeah. And then I was like, part 2 is 30. And she's like, oh. I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, yeah, like, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I can include you for 30 hours. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, she really, really enjoyed the ending. And like, she was asking me like, how long did you guys wait? And I'm like, yeah, that was 7 years. That's all we had was I swear. And 7 years went by. Left Behind was the year after, technically, but
Sure.
Yeah. No like forward stuff beyond that point.
Of course.
And that's our season. That is The Last of Us.
Yeah. That is The Last of Us.
I thought personally they stuck the landing. Thought this was overall a great episode. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. My only small things were like I wish the Joel killing the Firefly scene was like a one take. That's just my personal just little knock, but I can't knock what was not there, so like it is what it is. At least like in that sense, like of the way they did it. But overall, like they killed the giraffe scene. They killed the lie, like it's really like this is one of the episodes that's like very close to the game. Very, very close to the game. And like I think it's a great send off, And yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts. Yeah.
My thoughts overall.
Yeah. Just overall, like how we feel about the season. Now that we're done.
This is an achievement in terms of how you're able to take a story from another medium, which, to be fair, The Last of Us very much was borrowing from movies. It's definitely 100% a vice versa thing, and it's very much an easy way to adapt this. I think that this is definitely a masterclass of how to tell that story, and how to bring it into a 9 episode or 10 episode series. We shouldn't be rushing through these things like we try to do with movies. Movies are normally 2 to 3 hours. Then you try to cram all of this story into that, which this originally was supposed to be a movie. And I'm really happy that this is the route that we end up getting. We end up getting the care, the love, the respect of, like I said, the video game, the people behind the video game, the music behind the video game, the people that made things, and little references that people have created 10 years ago that they were programming in a computer, and now it's on the live action show, and there's a sign about someone's wife in the background. Like little touches like that, I think have really gone a long way. And this really is the benchmark in terms of live action. I'm going to say live action because, like I said before, there are conversations. There are a ton of animated stuff that have done very good and very well. Arcane is one of them. Cyberpunk's Edge Runners is another one. But this is the live action like blue point of like, if you can get too close to this level, then you've succeeded. That's to me the bottom line when it comes to adapting any video game property. So, God of War, we're looking at you.
I'm so scared. I'm so terrified. I'm so scared of God of War.
Fallout. Don't forget, Fallout's happening.
Yeah, like, Corey Barlog. I trust you. I would trust Barlog with my fucking son, like for real, right? But like, sure. Bro, oh man, we'll see, man. This season is like a bit surreal to me, right? And like, I don't know, I was thinking about this a lot, like last night. As I was at work and I was thinking about recording this episode and like what I was going to say overall and like how I feel about this season, right? And it's that, I was 13 years ago. So I was 12, right? I watched a Chris Smoove video and he was doing a Let's Play on this game called The Last of Us, right? And that was my first time experiencing Last of Us was through his playthrough, right?
Sure.
I still wasn't allowed to play rated M games that weren't Call of Duty. I was still not allowed to, right? So there was no prayer that my parents were going to buy me this game, right? Yes. A few years later, I got to play it. I fell in love with this world. I started, damn, I'm going to get choked up. Damn. I started my Road to podcast with Road to Part 2. That was the first one I ever did. And now I'm starting a Let's Watch podcast focused on the movie and TV side with The Last of Us. Yeah. It just feels like very surreal to like see this IP rise to this acclaim, and like,
yes,
it never got old. Like walking past my parents' room, my mom was folding clothes on Sunday, like watching episode 5, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, it's just like so, and I'm just happy that like it's good. Like, this is really good, like, yes. Yeah, okay, there's some nitpicks here and there that we can make. I don't like putting numbered scores really, but if I were to give it a score, I'm gonna say in the 8 to 7.5, leaning more towards an 8, what I'm saying? Like that's where I would probably put it, I think there's a legitimate critique that maybe there wasn't enough infected there. They've addressed that and said that there will be more infected in season 2. And like I feel like had to prove what The Last of Us is, to really get the quote unquote like funding for season 2. Right. And like what they want to do for that. Yeah. Right. Which like, yeah, that like, I understand, but like really, like I really didn't feel bothered about the lack of infected for me personally, just because like for me, The Last of Us isn't your average zombie show. It's yes, the infected play a huge role in The Last of Us, yes, but like it's about the people. It's about the last of them. Like the title is in itself, like it is about humanity. It's about things like love, and we'll get to part 2. It is about hate. It's about the human condition. What I'm saying? Like it's not so much so about shooty, clickers left and right. What I'm saying? Yes. Yeah. That's fun in the game. That's great. We all love that. No one loves going into a room and seeing 8 clickers like me. You know what I'm saying? And like, how am I gonna
No.
navigate this?
No, no, I do not.
You're like, Kevin, what are you talking about? No one likes that.
Fuck. No one likes that.
Like, you know, and I just think that this adaptation, like, I think it would have been not as grounded as it needed to be when you have live action actors reenacting this show. This story. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I love what this show adds. This show adds so much to the Last of Us lore. The amount of texture that they gave Joel in terms of like, yeah, you know, like in the game, like we're the player, like we're Joel, and Joel is this unstoppable force. He's still an unstoppable force here, but like, guys, he went a year from Salt Lake City, so from Boston to Salt Lake City, and you see the ramifications of that in this show that you don't see in the game. You know, like you see him really reflecting with that, and like I think this is just powerful. Like I don't know if I like one more than the other. I feel like we'll always be a little bit partial to the game, of course. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we'll always have a little bias towards the game. Troy Baker, Ashley Johnson, etc. But like, this was phenomenal. You know, Bella Ramsey, fucking oh my god, Bella Ramsey. God damn, Bella Ramsey, like shit.
Yes,
incredible.
I knew they had it in them after Game of Thrones. They absolutely crushed it there, and for them to take on this role as Ellie, season 2, they're gonna be a fucking force. It's gonna be
one of my little knocks that I've heard as well that I would agree to a certain extent is like I do wish that like this, and like I don't know, because like when you look at part 1, right, you don't see a lot of the brutality and the violence that much. Mm-hmm. Yes, you do see it more so than the show. That is correct. I'm not gonna say you don't, right? But there's a difference between the violence in part 1 and the violence in part 2.
Yeah.
I think everyone can agree that like part 2 is one of the most fucked up things I've ever done in my life. In terms of like the kills and how graphic it is, right? So
sorry, Vita girl.
I hope they bring her back. Please bring her back. I need to see a Vita in real life. I mean, I have one, but you know, like I want to see it there.
Dude, she's playing the Vita. Oh my god,
dude. Okay, is she playing?
Wait.
Do you want to pick the game?
Wait, no, hold on. Is the Vita around?
Fuck.
No! It's a PSP. It's a PSP.
Okay,
PSP?
Fine. PSP, fine. Damn it, I wish my Vita can live.
She's playing Metal Gear Solid.
Yes, Peace Walker. I'm down. Damn, was that even out yet? No, it wasn't out yet. What was out? Damn, if this happened in 2003? No.
Yeah,
2003. I don't even think the PSP's out. Fuck. Oh, they don't have a PlayStation handheld. Damn it.
All right, give us a Game Boy. Just give us a Game Boy.
I'll take a Game Boy. It's fine. I'll take the Game Boy Advance clamshell. I'll take that. I'll take that.
So funny.
But that was pretty much it. Mario, any parting words before we? I do want to say, if I may, real quick, Mario, thank you for coming on this journey. You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely.
In like a lot of ways, you are a mentor to me. You know, I truly feel that way towards you. Of course, more importantly, friend, absolutely, duh. Close friend, you know what I'm saying? But like, I said in the very first episode, and I'll say it again, you know, I can think of so many people that are like, yeah, Mario helped me out in my career in this way and that way and this way and that way. Like you really are someone that like wants to see the whole bit of us in this very obscure job that we can't really explain that well to our parents and people that ask us, what do you do? It's like, well, okay, how am I going to word it in a way that y'all can understand? Like this space, you know, you're the best of us, you know, for real. And that wasn't meant to be a really shitty pun. Like I really meant that. So that wasn't meant to be a pun. I swear.
I appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. That is
of course, great. Mario. Love you, bro.
Love you too, Kevin.
Where can people find you?
Of course, you can find me over at Twitter at @Mario Rivera, where you'll find all my spicy takes. Also at youtube.com/Point in Progress, where you'll find podcasts like the Point in Progress podcast, Model Citizen Show, and MC University, which is wrapping up soon. We have just did our Venom episode. Our next episode coming up next week is the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man Spider-Verse movie. So
my favorite.
I think I'll reveal the guest for that. It's Kevin. Sorry, not Kevin. It's Carlos.
Nerdy Day. Let's go. The homie. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He'll be talking with us on that episode. So.
Yes, sir. Spider-Verse is my favorite. Is my favorite movie of all time.
It's amazing.
Before that, it was Back to the Future.
Great choice.
Because I love.
Choice.
And I still got of course I got a soft spot. Of course I always have that soft spot for Back to the Future, but Spider-Verse is incredible. Shout out to that movie.
Incredible.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And this has been Let's Watch Last of Us HBO. Yeah. What will be next? Let's watch. We will see. Whatever is the next show. I think it's probably gonna be what's that?
Gran Turismo.
We are that, but what's the Twisted Metal?
Oh yeah, that's supposed to happen. This
year,
year,
which
right?
that's gonna be difficult for me because I've never played the games. I'm gonna need someone that's I don't know how I'm gonna handle that. I'm gonna manage.
I'm sure you can find a way to emulate that game and check it out. I don't know.
I gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
But this has been Let's Watch Last of Us HBO. We'll be back for season 2. Mario, open invite. If you want to run it back for season 2, we can definitely do that. We'll see. Whatever your schedule holds. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to put any pressure on you. You know what I'm saying? But
we'll see what the future holds for sure.
Just know the door is open. The door is always open.
Got you.
And that's about it, guys. Links down below to our Discord, Twitter, all that fun stuff. And thank you all for watching. And as always, greatness awaits.
Greatness awaits.